Pranam, Philosophy Optional Paper 1, lecture number 19. In the previous lecture, we had talked about the Nyaya philosophy, which was Nyaya philosophy part 1. In that, out of the 16 components, we talked about 3 components. Okay? You had Pramana, which are the sources of valid knowledge, Prameya, which is that things about which you should have knowledge. We also talked about the fields of operation of the senses, okay? And we ended the lecture with the beginning of knowledge, that is doubt or samsaya, okay? And we had begun to discuss how this knowledge that you have obtained from the valid pramanas can be converted into data that you have obtained from the valid pramanas can be converted into right knowledge. And the start was samsaya, after which the Nyaya methodology prescribes 13 steps. So we'll take a look at each one of them. कुछ का explanation बहुत छोटा रहेगा, कुछ का बहुत बड़ा रहेगा. तो after pramana, prameya and samsaya, the fourth is prayojana or motive. Now what is the importance of this? Please write down. Purpose serves as the motive. Purpose serves as the motive behind all actions. A wise person never indulges in purposeless action. Never engages in purposeless action. It is the purpose or motive which determines whether an act is morally right or wrong. The act by itself is neutral. Okay, so it's always the purpose. Once you understand this, you might feel there is a conflict because the Bhagavad Gita talks about detached action or detached activity, what we call nishkama karma. And that on the surface may seem to be contradictory to this, but it is not. Nishkama karma, the concept says, never get attached to the fruits of your action. Because if you apply nishkama karma completely and wrongly, you can actually end up with a justification saying Arjuna should not have fought at all. No, remember, there was no attachment to whether the objective would be achieved or not. That does not mean he did not have an objective. The objective was establishment of dharma. Okay, the Bhagavad Gita, when it talks about detachment and nishkama karma, it talks about worldly desires. It talks about worldly desires. It does not talk about not following the path of ethics at all. Please remember that. It's on a deeper level than one really tries to understand. Now the reason he says, because the reason he says is, the Bhagavad Gita talks about renunciation in action. And what determines your action? The right thing to do. That is always going to be there. Okay? The right thing to do. Bhagavad Gita says it's not about who, it's about what. Therefore, the argument that he is my grandsire and he is my teacher and he is my guru and he is my brother, they do not work, because it's about what has been done. It's never about who has done it. So even when the Mahabharata war was fought, remember, the objective was establishing dharma. Okay? That objective is always going to be there. Every action will definitely have a purpose. The idea is, don't get attached, don't think that your action will get you that purpose. If you don't act, you will not get that purpose, that's a guarantee. If you act for a purpose, at some point of time maybe you will end up achieving that purpose. So it's not the same thing, remember. So prayojana or motive. इसमें आगे लिखिए, a seeker should always be examining and reflecting. A seeker should always be examining and reflecting upon his motives. Your motive is very simple, cracking the UPSC exam. The second thing is drishtanta. The fifth, drishtanta, which means a corroborative instance. A corroborative instance. The concept of drishtanta says, this talks about basically taking a person from the known to the unknown. Show him something which he already knows. Ask him, or something which is well established, ask him to observe the principle on which that is working and try to apply that principle to a new situation. That is drishtanta, providing a background. Likhiye. This is also known as familiar example. This is also known as a familiar example. Everybody accepts the general proposition. Everybody accepts the general proposition that if there are clouds, it will rain. That if there are clouds, it will rain. Cause effect established hai. There are clouds, it will rain. This can be used as an example. This can be used as an example to explain the meaning of cause and effect. To explain the meaning of cause and effect. This helps because the journey is from the known to the unknown. From the known to the unknown. The sixth is Siddhanta, which means a demonstrated truth. A demonstrated truth. Something which has actually happened, and that Siddhanta or that principle is universally recognized by anybody. Nobody debates that Siddhanta. In Western science, you have the concept of lemma, which means an irreducible primary. So Siddhanta here means that which does not need any proof which has already been demonstrated many times or many years prior to this. Okay, that is demonstrated truth. इसमें type से लिख लीजिए. Siddhanta is a conclusion. Siddhanta is a conclusion that is recognized as being logically correct. That is recognized as being logically correct by a certain school of philosophy. There are 4 kinds of Siddhanta. There are 4 kinds of Siddhanta. First is a commonly accepted truth. First is a commonly accepted truth. ये लिख लीजिए. Second is a peculiar truth. Third is a consequential truth. And fourth is an implied truth. So the demonstrated truth is of these 4 types. What are these 4 types? Commonly accepted लिखिए. It's a tenet or a rule. It's a tenet or a rule which is not opposed by anybody or any school of philosophy. मतलब हमने जो इसके पहले के लेक्चर में 9 स्कूल्स देखे थे, ये 9 स्कूल्स में से कोई भी स्कूल उसको डिनाई नहीं करता. क्या है ये? बेसिक ट्रूथ, 5 senses. Nobody denies this. Buddhism, Jainism, Charvaka, all the 6 conventional, they say that there are 5 senses from which you receive knowledge. So what is a peculiar truth? लिख लीजिए. A tenet which is accepted by similar schools, a tenet which is accepted by similar schools but rejected by the opposing schools. जैसे इसके अगर एग्जाम्पल आपको देना है, between the Indian concept of God and the Abrahamic concept of God, okay, you have monotheism versus polytheism. You have idolatry versus non-idolatry. Okay, this is specifically Hinduism and Islam. But within these 9 schools also there is a difference. All these schools believe in 4 purusharthas. Purusharthas are the noble aims of humans. All these schools recognize the 4 purusharthas, conventional school, that dharma, artha, kama, moksha. But when you go to the other side, Charvaka does not recognize dharma and does not recognize moksha. It says, Charvaka philosophy says, there are only two purusharthas, that is artha and kama, that's it. Okay, so this sort of truth is known as a peculiar truth. One school or philosophy, one particular category, howsoever big it may be, it believes that that tenet is completely true, and there is an opposing category which says that that tenet is false. Okay, this is a peculiar truth. Then what is a consequential truth? Write down. A tenet which if accepted, a tenet which if accepted leads to the acceptance of another tenet. मतलब अगर ये एक्सेप्ट किया तो वो भी एक्सेप्ट करना पड़ेगा. ओके, तो ऐसे बहुत सारे टेनेट्स हैं, बहुत सारे फिलोसॉफिकल टेनेट्स हैं, बहुत सारे ज्योग्राफी से रिलेटेड टेनेट्स हैं. देखो, इफ यू से दैट कोल्ड leads to rise in disease, and you believe global warming, okay, leads to intense cold spells. Okay, consequentially, you have to believe that global warming will lead to a rise in disease. Okay, so this is a consequential truth. Then an implied truth, लिखिए, a tenet which is not explicitly declared but logically follows from an examination. But logically follows from an examination. For example, if I say people above the age of 18 are eligible to vote. People over the age of 18 are eligible to vote. Now, if I examine this carefully, I'll have to conclude that people who cross 18 years are able to judge which politician should vote for, what is good for the country, okay, and so on and so forth. Who is better? So, just when I say that above the age of 18 you can vote, the implied truth is people who are 18 years or above have the ability to judge the work of politicians and decide accordingly. That is implied. Are we clear? So these are the four types of Siddhanta. Then 4, 5, 6, the seventh part, Avayava. Avayava. ब्रैकेट में लिखिए द फैक्टर्स ऑफ रीजनिंग. हाउ डू यू रीजन? ओके, अब इसमें अ मेथोडोलॉजी इज लेड डाउन. इट सेज यू बिगिन रीजनिंग. ये डिस्कशन थोड़ा लंबा रहेगा. यू बिगिन रीजनिंग by a proposition. You make a certain proposition called pratijna. This is how you begin reasoning. Then you specify a reason. that is called hetu. Okay, then you cite an example, also called udaharana. Okay, then you apply that principle to the real world. Application. Upanaya. Once you apply that, you reach a conclusion, which is nigamana. So according to the Nyaya philosophy, this is how you reason. Are we clear? ठीक है, अब इसमें एक एक के बारे में लिख लीजिए. What is proposition? एक एक का मीनिंग लिख लीजिए. The statement of the thing to be proved. The statement of the thing to be proved. What is hetu? The argument used to prove the proposition. The argument used to prove a proposition. Udaharana, a generally accepted instance of a similar thing. A generally accepted instance of a similar thing. Application, लिखिए, comparing with the current situation. Comparing with the current situation. Conclusion, convergence of the four previous steps towards the same judgment. Convergence of the four previous steps towards the same judgment. जैसे याद रखिए, हमने जब वेस्टर्न फिलॉसफी पढ़ी थी, भले ही वो कांत हो, भले ही वो सॉक्रेटिक आर्ग्यूमेंट हो, you always started with the opposite of what you want to prove, right? Here you start with what you want to prove. So this is much more instructive, and इसलिए कांत का criticism भी हुआ था और सॉक्रेटिस का भी, that their methods and arguments are more destructive than constructive. Here you never divert. You start with what you want to prove. For example, Akshay is mortal. ये है मेरा proposition. Reason, Akshay is a human. Example, Chandragupta Maurya, Harshavardhana, Alexander were humans and they died. Application, Akshay is also a man, is also a human. And conclusion, Akshay is mortal. या therefore डाल दीजिए. So if your P and C are the same, it means you have proved it logically. इसमें कभी कभी बोल सकते हैं यार अलेक्जेंडर तो बीमारी से मरा था, अक्षय को बीमारी नहीं हुई, तो आपको ऐसा एक एग्जाम्पल देना पड़ेगा जिसको बीमारी नहीं हुई फिर भी ही पास्ड अवे, राइट. दिस इज द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ अवयवा. अब इसमें और एडिशनल लिख लीजिए. 3 parts of an inference. 3 parts of an inference. लिखिए. The major term, that is साध्य, the minor term, that is paksha, and the middle term hetu or linga. आगे लिखिए. In the process of inference, suppose you say there is a fire near the hill. There is a fire near the hill. Step number 1 is seeing the smoke. Okay. Step number 2, recollection of relation between fire and smoke. Recollection of the relation between fire and smoke. And then the third, cognition of fire. ठीक है. Now here the major term is fire because that's what you are talking about. So this is sadhya. The sight of smoke is leading you to fire. Okay. So seeing the smoke becomes the hetu. ठीक है. And this recollection, there is no minor term in this argument. This recollection between fire and smoke, you see both the hetu and the sadhya in this. You can say the minor term is hill and the minor term is spaksha. Okay, so this is how logic proceeds. Write down the next point here. Later philosophers have introduced 5 additional components. they are inquiry, that is जिज्ञासा. ये जरूरी नहीं, इसको छोड़ दीजिए, लिख लीजिए इंक्वायरी, दैट इज जिज्ञासा. व्हाट इज दिस? इन्वेस्टिगेशन ऑन द प्रपोजिशन. देयर इज अ फायर ऑन द एंटायर हिल और जस्ट अ पार्ट ऑफ द हिल. जबरदस्ती की इंक्वायरी. सेकेंड, डाउट, क्वेश्चनिंग द रीजन फॉर द प्रपोजिशन. एग्जाम्पल, ये एग्जाम्पल के लिए, दैट विच इज स्मोक कैन बी ड्यू टू डस्ट. दैट विच इज स्मोक कैन बी ड्यू टू डस्ट. कैपेसिटी और शक्य प्राप्ति. कैपेसिटी और शक्य प्राप्ति. What does this do? It tests this. Is it necessary कि जब भी आग हो धुआं होगा ही, या जब भी धुआं हो आग ही होगी? ये जरूरी है क्या? There are some crackers which burst, let out smoke, but then there is no fire. Okay? Then purpose, प्रयोजना. ये अगर हमको पता भी चल गया, even if we get to know, ये मैं आपको एक्सप्लेन कर रहा हूं, even if we get to know that there is fire on the hill, what is the purpose of knowing that? कोई फायदा होगा उससे? फिफ्थ इज संशय व्युदासा. संशया व्युदासा, VYUDASA, रिमूवल ऑफ ऑल डाउट. ठीक है, तो कुछ लोग बोलते हैं और ये 5 एलिमेंट्स ऐड हो सकते हैं, हम उसको डिटेल में नहीं जाएंगे. इस पे आ जाइए वापस. एक 2 सेंटेंसेस लिख लीजिए. द फंक्शन ऑफ अ प्रपोजिशन, द फंक्शन ऑफ अ प्रपोजिशन is to establish a connection, is to establish a connection between substance and attribute, between substance and attribute. Clear? The function of reason is to demonstrate that the attribute is an integral part of the substance. Attribute is an integral part of the substance. The function of example is to show that the function of example is to show that two attributes, function of example is to show that two attributes are related in the same substratum. The example can be affirmative or negative. दोनों हो सकते हैं ना. लिखिए थोड़ा सा. A negative example is a familiar instance. A negative example is a familiar instance which is known not to have the property that is established. not to have the property that is established. इसमें नेगेटिव एग्जाम्पल रहेगा the unborn never dies. तो मैंने ऑपोजिट एट्रीब्यूट का एग्जाम्पल दिया है, तो ये नेगेटिव एग्जाम्पल भी हो सकता है ना, अनबॉर्न नेवर डाइज, अक्षय वॉज बॉर्न, ही मस्ट डाई. ओके, लिखिए. द फंक्शन ऑफ एप्लीकेशन इज टू डिमॉन्स्ट्रेट दैट the attribute coexists, the attribute of the substance coexists with the similar attribute of another substance. The function of conclusion is the function of a conclusion is to exclude all contradictory and contrary conclusions against the proposition. ओके, अब इसी एग्जाम्पल को हम और डेप्थ में समझते हैं कि इन्फ्रेंस आता कहां से है. एक सेंटेंस लिख लीजिए. देयर इज फायर ऑन द हिल, देयर इज फायर ऑन द हिल बिकॉज देयर इज स्मोक. देयर इज फायर ऑन द हिल because there is smoke and where there is smoke there is fire. Where there is smoke there is fire. इसमें याद रखिएगा मेजर टर्म फायर है, माइनर टर्म हिल है, और मेजर टर्म और माइनर टर्म को कनेक्ट कर रहा है मिडिल टर्म दैट इज स्मोक. अब हेडिंग दीजिए लॉजिकल ग्राउंड फॉर इन्फरेंसेस. लॉजिकल ग्राउंड फॉर इन्फरेंसेस. पहला पॉइंट लिखिए व्याप्ति, VYAPTI. व्याप्ति मीन्स the state of pervasiveness, to be present in something. That is vyapti, to be present in something. Vyapti implies both that which pervades and that which is pervaded. जैसे मैं एक स्टेटमेंट आपको बता देता हूं. God exists in all of us. God is present everywhere. God is all pervasive, present in everything. Okay? तो God exists in all of us. इसमें व्याप्ति God भी है और all of us भी है. तो व्याप्ति, द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ व्याप्ति implies both that which is pervading and that in which it is pervading. आगे लिखिए. In the inference of fire and smoke, जो आपने एग्जाम्पल लिखा है, in the inference of fire and smoke, smoke is the pervaded Smoke exists in fire. Fire does not exist in smoke, right? Smoke is the pervaded and fire is the pervader. However, thus reverse, that is, wherever there is a fire, there will be smoke. That is, wherever there is fire, there will be smoke is not necessarily correct. स्मोक है तो फायर होगा, फायर होगा तो स्मोक होगा, ये जरूरी नहीं है. It is possible to have fire without a smoke. Example, Bunsen burner. It is possible to have fire without smoke. अब मेरे को एक बात बताइए, परवेडर और परवेडेड हमेशा साथ में एग्जिस्ट करेंगे, ऐसा कोई एग्जाम्पल है क्या? गॉट द आइडिया? परवेडर और परवेडेड हमेशा एक साथ एग्जिस्ट करेंगे, ऐसा कोई एग्जाम्पल है क्या? बिल्कुल है. हीट एंड फायर. There are some cases where the pervader and pervaded coexist permanently, where the pervader and the pervaded coexist permanently. This is known as concomitance. This is known as concomitance. There are two types of concomitance. ये सब आप लिख रहे हैं व्याप्ति में. One exists in the other. There are two types of concomitance. First is non-equivalent. First is non-equivalent. ये क्या है, लिख लीजिए. Invariable concomitance between two unequal entities. One can be inferred from the other, but not the other way around. One can be inferred from the other, but not the other way around. That is, fire can be inferred from smoke. Fire can be inferred from smoke. But smoke cannot be inferred from fire. Fire can be inferred from smoke, but smoke cannot be inferred from fire. And then you have equivalent concomitance. Invariable concomitance between two coexistent terms. Invariable concomitance between two coexistent terms in which either of them can be inferred from the other. In which either of them can be inferred from the other. जैसा फायर एंड हीट. हीट है तो कहीं ना कहीं फायर होगा ही. फायर है तो कहीं ना कहीं हीट होगा ही। तो इसका एग्जिस्टेंस आप उससे बता सकते हो और उसका एग्जिस्टेंस आप इससे बता सकते हो। इट्स अ कंप्लीट रेसिप्रोसिटी। फिर लिखिए the only way to establish concomitance, the only way to establish concomitance is by repeated observation। आपको वेस्टर्न फिलोसॉफी याद हो रही होगी। necessary condition, just because there is a cause and effect that does not mean necessary condition, only by repeated observation you can establish concomitance। आगे लिखिए the Nyaya method of inference uses inductive reasoning। the Nyaya method of inference uses inductive reasoning, that is it draws a conclusion on the grounds of a universally accepted truth, universally known and accepted truth। Concomitance is established through perception of classes, that is samanya lakshana। Write down, through a perception of classes, that is samanya lakshana। the universal truth falls within the range of vyapti। Then write down, this was the seventh, vyapti is a part of that, ठीक है। Then you have to write down the eighth, fallacious reasoning, हेत्वाभाषा, हेत्वाभाषा लिख देता हूं मैं। This is the eighth। हेत्वाभाषा, which is fallacious reasoning। ये क्यों होता है हम समझ लें। व्हाट इज दिस? सभ्यभिचारा, सभ्यभिचारा, नीचे मीनिंग लिखिए, द इर्रेगुलर मिडिल। रिमेंबर, एक आपके पास मेजर टर्म है, माइनर टर्म है और मिडिल टर्म है, ठीक है। सभ्यभिचारा, ब्रैकेट में लिखिए द इर्रेगुलर मिडिल, द इर्रेगुलर मिडिल, ब्रैक कॉमा एम्बिगुअस। विरुद्धा, द सेल्फ कॉन्ट्राडिक्टरी, विरुद्धा, द सेल्फ कॉन्ट्राडिक्टरी। थर्ड इज सत प्रतिपक्षा, सत प्रति पक्षा, विच इज द इनकंक्लूसिव। मतलब आप रीजनिंग में कुछ स्टेप्स जंप करके कंक्लूड कर लेते हो, दैट इज सत प्रतिपक्षा। असिद्धा, द अनप्रूव्ड, असिद्धा, द अनप्रूव्ड। और आखिरी में बोधिता, एनाक्रोनिज्म, बोधिता, एनाक्रोनिज्म। इसके टाइप्स आप लिखिए। मैं सारे एग्जाम्पल्स एक कंसिस्टेंसी से दे रहा हूं आपको, ठीक है। ये बहुत बड़ा पार्ट है, फिर से हेत्व भाषा ये हो गया, तो बाकी सब थोड़े सिंपल ही हैं। राइट डाउन द प्रपोजिशन। ऑल मैमल, ऑल एनिमल्स, सॉरी लिखिए, ऑल बीइंग्स who live in the Himalayas are saints. All beings who live in the Himalayas are saints. Tigers live in the Himalayas. Tigers live in the Himalayas. Therefore, tigers are saints. अब इसमें मेजर टर्म, पहला प्रपोजिशन लिख लिया आपने, माइनर टर्म, मिडिल टर्म, सॉरी इसमें स्ट्रक्चर ही फॉलो करते हैं, मेजर टर्म, मिडिल टर्म, ओके, माइनर टर्म एंड कंक्लूजन। तीन प्रपोजिशन देखेंगे हम, ये तीन प्रपोजिशन को हमको इस्टेब्लिश करना है। तो प्रपोजिशन 1 में मेजर टर्म हो गया सेंट्स, मिडिल टर्म हो गया हिमालयन बीइंग्स और माइनर टर्म हो गया टाइगर्स। आपका कंक्लूजन हुआ रॉन्ग और एम्बिगुअस। Reason: improper concomitance between major term and minor term and middle term. Improper concomitance between major term and middle term. लिखिए, many varieties of beings live in the Himalayas. Saints is just one of those beings. The property of saintness is not concomitant to Himalayan beings and vice versa. The property of saintness is not concomitant to Himalayan beings and vice versa. तो व्याप्ति एग्जिस्ट नहीं करती, जो हमने व्याप्ति डिस्कस किया था। प्रपोजिशन 2 लिखिए, बड़ा प्रपोजिशन, साउंड इज नॉन इटर्नल बिकॉज इट इज इंटेंजिबल। साउंड इज नॉन इटर्नल because it is intangible. All intangible things are non-eternal. अब यहां पे non-eternal is the major term, intangible is the middle term and sound is the minor term. The conclusion you get is wrong and ambiguous. लिखिए, two opposite conclusions are being drawn from the same reason. Two opposite conclusions are being drawn from the same reason. Intangible does not have any distinct relationship with eternal or non-eternal. Does not have any distinctive relationship with eternal or non-eternal. Therefore, the reason itself is ambiguous. The reason itself is ambiguous. अब लिखिए थर्ड proposition. ये हो गया सभ्य विचारा. अब हम देखते हैं विरुद्ध कैसे आता है. प्रपोजिशन लिखिए, sound is eternal because it is produced. Sound is eternal because it is produced. Everything that is produced is impermanent. अब यहां पे आपको इटर्नल होने का बेसिक कॉज क्या दिया है? इट इज प्रोड्यूस्ड. अगले स्टेटमेंट में क्या बोला है? Whatever is produced is impermanent. So this is a contradiction. The reason contradicts that which is to be proved. What is to be proved? Sound is eternal. Argument आपने उसका ये क्या दिया? Reason it is produced. तो आप वो पुराने फ्लो चार्ट से भी एग्जाम्पल वगैरह करके देखेंगे तो पूरा कोलैप्स हो जाएगा. दिस इज द सेकेंड टाइप, विरुद्धा. थर्ड टाइप लिखिए, इनकंक्लूसिव. द रीजन विच प्रोवोक्स द वेरी क्वेश्चन, द रीजन विच प्रोवोक्स द वेरी क्वेश्चन whose solution was being searched. प्रपोजिशन लिखिए, द बॉडी इज नॉन इटर्नल. द बॉडी इज नॉन इटर्नल बिकॉज इट डज नॉट पोसेस द एट्रीब्यूट ऑफ इटर्नैलिटी. आपको लग रहा होगा ये एग्जाम्पल बहुत सिंपल है, आप लाइफ में बहुत बार ये करते हो, ध्यान रखना. द बॉडी इज नॉन इटर्नल बिकॉज इट डज नॉट पोजेस द एट्रीब्यूट ऑफ इटर्नैलिटी. मैंने नया क्या बोला? डिड आई से एनीथिंग न्यू? आई एम टॉल बिकॉज आई एम 6'2". डिड आई से एनीथिंग न्यू? No. Write down. Nothing new is contributing to the thesis. The reason merely provokes the question once again. Why are you 6'2"? Because I am tall. The reason provokes the question again. Investigation of truth becomes impossible. अब असिद्धा, प्रपोजिशन लिखिए, ऑल हिंदूज आर वेजिटेरियंस because they all believe in the doctrine of ahimsa. Believe in the doctrine of ahimsa. ये आपका पांचवा प्रपोजिशन होगा. अब इसको एनालाइज कीजिए. मेजर टर्म वेजिटेरियंस, मिडिल टर्म बिलीव in ahimsa, minor term Hindus, इसका स्टेटस अनप्रोवन. क्यों? लिखिए. Here it is necessary to prove the relationship between the middle term and the major term. That is, those who believe in ahimsa are vegetarians. आप जब ये प्रूव करोगे तब ये प्रूव होगा ना. आप अगर यही प्रूव नहीं कर पाए तो ये कहां से प्रूव होगा? पॉसिबल ही नहीं है. इसलिए दिस स्टैंड्स अनप्रूवन. Then you have the bodhita, contradicted. Bodhita, anachronism. आगे लिखिए. इसका एग्जाम्पल जरूरी नहीं है. Some other fallacies are narrow definition, broad definition, or an impossibility. Or an impossibility. तो ये हो गया अभी. अब 9th लिखिए. अब इसको हम फटाफट खत्म करेंगे. 9th इज तर्का, हाइपोथेटिकल रीजनिंग. इसमें लिखिए, a method of attaining knowledge of the truth by comparing and then gradually eliminating all competing suppositions and gradually eliminating all competing suppositions. All contrary ideas are shown to be absurd. ठीक है, तो इसको प्रूव ये थोड़ा कांटियन मेथड और सॉक्रेटिक डायलेक्टिक से सिमिलर है. रादर देन प्रूव दिस, you take all other things which are possible and you disprove each one of them, automatically proving this. That is hypothetical reasoning or tarka. Then you have dialectic or nirnaya. Write down. Form of a dialogue between two people form of dialogue between two people who may hold differing views, and yet wish to establish the truth, by seeking agreement with one another. This is different from a debate because in a debate a person tries to prove that the other person is wrong. ओके इसका सीक्वेंस लिखिए. फर्स्ट इंप्रेशन, उसके बाद डाउट अराइजेस, उसके बाद एग्जामिन द ऑपोजिट, इसको बोलते हैं पूर्व पक्षा. देन एप्लीकेशन ऑफ लॉजिक, ओके, देन डिटर्मिनेशन ऑफ द कंट्रोवर्सी, मतलब जो कंट्रोवर्सी उठी थी, कंट्रोवर्सी क्यों उठी थी, इसके कारण उसको फाइनल करना कि कंट्रोवर्सी सही है कि गलत है, क्या सही है और क्या गलत है, और यहां से निर्णय, एसर्टेनमेंट ऑफ द ट्रूथ. ठीक है, डायलेक्टिक में ये प्रोसेस फॉलो होता है. Ascertainment is unnecessary. In case of direct perception. Ascertainment is unnecessary in case of direct perception or verbal testimony of a trustworthy authority, A caution needs to be exercised that endless questioning for the sake of questioning, will not result in furthering of knowledge. तो कहीं ना कहीं उसको फुल स्टॉप डालना बहुत जरूरी है. तो ये है 10th. ओके, देन द 11th इज वादा और डिस्कशन. हिंदी वाला वादा नहीं है, वाद विवाद वाला वादा है, वादा और डिस्कशन. पर्पज इज, 3 सेंटेंसेस लिख लीजिए. पर्पज इज टू अराइव एट द ट्रूथ. Purpose is to arrive at the truth. In Vada, it is not essential to establish one's own thesis. It is not essential to establish one's own thesis. It only needs to be submitted for examination. Next, any test of logic is applicable. मतलब जो थीसिस पुट फोर्थ हुई है उसको प्रूव करो पॉजिटिवली या उसके ऑल्टरनेट थीसिस को डिस्प्रूव करो. एनी मेथड ऑफ एप्लीकेशन ऑफ लॉजिक इज एक्सेप्टेबल. ठीक है. देन लिखिए जल्पा पोलेमिक. जैसे ही हम नंबर 16 की तरफ बढ़ रहे हैं राहत बढ़ रही है. बीच में एक हाथ हो सकता है फिर से 1 घंटे का डिस्कशन वाला कोई आए. जल्पा इज अ विगरस वर्बल आर्ग्यूमेंट. अ विगरस verbal argument aimed at gaining victory and not at pursuing right knowledge. This usually takes the form of attacking the opponent's character. This usually takes the form of attacking the opponent's character rather than his testimony or thesis. Rather than his testimony or thesis. इसके लिए लैटिन में भी एक टर्म है that is argumentum ad hominem. ये अपनी जॉली LLB 2 में भी देखा होगा. जब वो कश्मीर से सोल्जर आता है, स्पॉयलर्स अहेड, और वो टेस्टिमनी देता है, तो जो ऑपोजिट वकील है अन्नू कपूर, वो उस टेस्टिमनी को अटैक नहीं करता है. वो उस टेस्टिमनी को अटैक नहीं करता है, वो उस सोल्जर के कैरेक्टर को अटैक करता है, और वो कैरेक्टर को डिस्ट्रॉय कर दिया तो स्टेटमेंट वैसे भी वैलिड नहीं रहेगा. दैट इज कॉल्ड एन आर्ग्यूमेंटम एड होमिनम, दैट इज पोलेमिक. 13th इज वितंडा. मेरी मम्मी अभी बोलती है ఏంటి ఆ వితండవాదం. Attacking the opposite side. Attacking the opposite side, comma, disturb the speaker by offering frivolous objections. Disturb the speaker by offering frivolous objections. याद रखिए इनमें बहुत सारी चीजें आपको इंडियन पार्लियामेंट में अभी भी दिखती हैं. In case of both Jalpa and Vitanda, in the case of both Jalpa and Vitanda, so both Jalpa and Vitanda, the objective is to win and not to establish the truth. Fourteenth is Chala. Which in English is also called as casuistry. In Chala, opposition is offered by taking an alternate meaning by taking an alternate meaning of one of the words in the proposition. There are three sorts. First is play upon words. मतलब you know कि प्रपोजिशन में जो वर्ड यूज किया है वो क्यों यूज किया है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, इफ आई से, इफ आई आस्क यू हैव यू बीन इन लव, somebody asks you have you been in love, everyone knows what kind of love is being talked about, but you get into a tangent. I love my mother, I love my father. Okay, this is called vachas. The second is samanyas या generalizations. जनरलाइजेशंस कभी कभी लग सकते हैं कि बड़े वैलिड है, लेकिन बहुत छुपा. एग्जांपल देता हूं मैं. दिस इज कॉल्ड समन्यास. मीनिंग लिख लीजिए. asserting the impossibility of a particular part because of the impossibility of the whole. Because of the impossibility of whole. For example, a Delhi UPSC aspirant all characters are completely fictitious. Any resemblance to anyone watching this video is coincidental and unintentional. Okay? A Delhi UPSC aspirant is arrogant. Suppose मैंने बोल दिया, let me make it better. Ram, a Delhi UPSC aspirant, is arrogant. अब आप राम के पास गए, राम ने बोला नहीं. क्यों? सारे एरोगेंट थोड़ी होते हैं. हाँ, तो कुछ तो होते हैं ना. तू वो सारों में है नहीं है, इसकी क्या गारंटी है? तो राम ने यहां जो आर्गुमेंट यूज किया ना, उसको समन्वय बोलते हैं. जनरलाइजेशन को उसने ट्विस्ट करके यूज किया है. ओके, ही सेइंग, राम का आर्गुमेंट समझिए. राम आपको बोल रहा है कि सारे एरोगेंट नहीं होते, इसलिए मैं एरोगेंट नहीं हूं. ये गलत है ना. एक और स्टेप ऑफ रीजनिंग चाहिए ना. सारे एरोगेंट नहीं होते, मान लिया. तू उनमें से है कि इनमें से है, ये कौन प्रूव करेगा? राम वो एरोगेंट लॉट में से है कि नॉट एरोगेंट लॉट में से है, ये कौन प्रूव करेगा? और जब तक ये प्रूव नहीं करोगे, आर्ग्यूमेंट वैलिड ही नहीं हुआ. तो आपने शब्दों का जाल खेला है, बस, और कुछ नहीं है. एंड तीसरा इज मेटाफर्स. which is upacharas. लिखिए, taking a literal meaning of a word when it has been used as a metaphor. taking a literal meaning of a word when it has been used as a metaphor. For example, argument में आपने ऐसे बोल दिया, भैया बादल रहेंगे तो बारिश आएगी ही, क्योंकि आप किसी और को बोलना चाहते हो कि, जैसा तो एग्जाम्पल देता हूं, गुस्सा आएगा तो हाथ उठेगा ही, इस पे बात चल रही है और आपने आर्गुमेंट किया कि भैया बादल होंगे तो बारिश तो आएगी ही, तो आपने ये मेटाफर देके उसको जस्टिफाई करने की कोशिश की है, पर ये मेटाफर में माइंड कहां है? बादल है तो बारिश होगी, ये ज्योग्राफिकल फैक्टर है ना, इसमें माइंड का ऑपरेशन है क्या? नहीं है। बट व्हेन यू से गुस्सा आएगा तो हाथ उठेगा, बीच में माइंड का ऑपरेशन है ना। हाँ, तो आपने वो चीज जस्टिफाई करने के लिए एक ऐसा मेटाफर दे दिया है जो डायरेक्टली एप्लीकेबल नहीं है, तो ऐसे इसको बोलते हैं छल इन एन आर्गुमेंट। देन द 15th, जाति। Meaning futile rejoinder. A reply is said to be futile. A reply is said to be futile if it does not take into consideration the universal connection between the middle term and the major term. Okay, there are 24 kinds of futility. इससे ज्यादा मालूम होने की आपको जरूरत नहीं है. There are 24 kinds of futility, and the 16th is nigraha sthana. Nigraha sthana, the grounds for defeat or clinchers. Explanation लिखिए, a situation in which one either misunderstands or does not understand at all. A situation in which one either does not misunderstands or does not understand at all. It is advised that, next point इसी में, it is advised that the moment the other demonstrates an ignorance or misunderstanding of the subject under discussion, an ignorance or misunderstanding of the subject under discussion, the discussion should be stopped. ये आजकल नहीं चलता है. The discussion should be stopped. हाँ, तो you are arguing with the other person and you realize the other person has misunderstood. You should stop the discussion. ऐसा आजकल नहीं चलता. आप कितना भी बोलो राफेल में घोटाला नहीं है, वहां से आएगा कि राफेल में घोटाला है. तो ये आज के मार्केटिंग और सोशल मीडिया के जमाने में नहीं चलता, ये सब ध्यान रखिएगा. There are 22 occasions of disagreement in principle. There are 22 occasions of disagreement in principle. तो ये था हमारा 16th एलिमेंट. फाइनली वी आर डन विद द न्याय फिलॉसफी. अब आपको जो नोट्स लिखा है वो बिल्कुल अच्छे से पढ़िएगा. क्वेश्चंस लिखिए. एग्जामिन द न्याय कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ व्याप्ति. एनालाइज the Nyaya concept of Vyapti and examine its relation to Tarka. 12.5 marks, 200 words. Second, bring out the philosophical implications of introducing Alaukika perception. Bring out the philosophical implications of introducing extraordinary perception, Alaukika perception in Nyaya philosophy. 20 marks, 150 words. Question number 3. Explain the conditions of valid hetu. Explain the conditions of a valid hetu as propounded in Nyaya philosophy. Valid hetu as propounded in Nyaya philosophy. 10 marks, 150 words. 10 marks, 150 words. Question number 4. Explain the early Nyaya definition. Explain the early Nyaya definition. Why is this definition considered inadequate? यह हम अगले लेक्चर में देखेंगे. Why is this definition considered inadequate by later Naiyayikas? Naiyayikas, proponents of Nyaya philosophy. Naiyayikas. Right? So, that was the Nyaya philosophy and those were the questions. Go through the entire lecture, go through your class notes very carefully. Thank you very much. All the best.